Welcome, and thank you for joining us. Wisconsin Health Literacy is presenting this video to help pharmacists like you redesign your prescription labels so they are easier for patients to read, understand, and act upon. In this short video, we will walk through the Implementation Guide Quick Start. The Quick Start highlights the most relevant points in the full Implementation Guide to help you get started with the label redesign. Here is the full Implementation Guide. It provides step-by-step directions to implementing label changes. Let's get started, and congratulations! Your labels will soon be more patient-centered. To begin the process, it is first important to read and understand the United States Pharmacopoeia, or USP, Chapter 17 standards. Fortunately, this is only 2 pages long. The USP Chapter 17 standards state what should be included and excluded on the label, and also discusses where the element should be placed on the label and the rationale behind it. Once you have read through the USP Chapter 17 standards, please review the USP-compliant sample label templates created by Wisconsin Health Literacy. These are found on page 6 of the Implementation Guide. As you will see, there is more than one way to redesign labels and still adhere to the USP Chapter 17 standards. Here is an example. The USP Chapter 17 standards state that the most critical elements for patient understanding include the patient's name, the drug's full name and strength, and explicit clear directions for use in simple language. These elements should be placed at the top of the label. Other important but less critical information, including pharmacy logos, should be placed at the bottom of the label or in a less prominent spot from the critical elements. Writing explicit, clear directions for use, or the SIG, in simple language is important for patient understanding. One way to do this is to use the Universal Medication Schedule, or UMS. The UMS shifts medication taking into 4 standard time periods: morning, noon, evening, and bedtime, and uses simple language and formatting to promote better understanding. Go to page 6 of the Implementation Guide for more information about the UMS. Here is an example of a standard SIG: take 2 pills twice daily. This can be confusing for patients for a few reasons. First, the words twice daily are vague, and patients often incorrectly assume when to take the medicine. Also, the word twice, and once for that matter, are harder for new readers or English language learners to read. Second, spelling numbers out. In this case, TWO is harder to understand than writing it as the numeral 2. Finally, using all caps is also more challenging to read. It is much better to write, take 2 pills in the morning and 2 pills in the evening. This uses the UMS standard timeframes, making it more clear as to when to take the medications. It also uses the numeral 2 instead of spelling out TWO, and is written sentence case and simple language. Just a note about SIGs. We understand that there are software limitations as to how you can change the SIG, if at all. We encourage you to be open to making further modifications down the road as software technology evolves. In order to redesign your labels, it is necessary to engage the key stakeholders who will be a part of the process. First, establish your redesign team. Decide which staff members can dedicate their time to this project. Because you will be redesigning your own labels, you may want to assign staff who are proficient in Photoshop, InDesign, Microsoft Publisher, or some other type of design software. However, PowerPoint can also be used. In addition to staff, it's also important to include a representative from your software vendor, if possible. If not, at least identify a vendor liaison whom you can stay in contact with during the label redesign. Be sure to educate all staff members on the importance of patient-centered labels to help them understand why you have made these changes. Ask them to view the Pharmacy Toolkit video embedded on page 7 of the Implementation Guide. At the end of that video, staff can take a survey and print out a certificate of completion for you to keep on file. Next, strategize the implementation process. You have many competing priorities, and it will be important to plan accordingly so that it is successfully completed. Determine the timeline and staff time needed to complete the project. This varies from pharmacy to pharmacy, but establishing a timeline will help ensure completion. Be sure to also collaborate early and often with your software vendor about the redesign process. It will be different for each pharmacy. Some vendors will want you to send them a copy of your current label, as well as a design template of your proposed new label. Some pharmacies are able to make label changes on their own, while others must work with a remote vendor for all label changes. Communicating with your software vendor is essential. Finally, it is important to email a copy of your redesigned label to staff at Wisconsin Health Literacy prior to it going live in your pharmacy. This is a very important step to help ensure that your labels are as patient-centered as possible. Wisconsin Health Literacy staff can offer any suggestions if needed. The contact information for Wisconsin Health Literacy staff is found on page 10 of the implementation guide. Contact them with any questions at any time. This concludes our video. Congratulations again on making your labels more patient-centered. For more information about the project, visit this link or the Wisconsin Health Literacy website. This project is funded by the Advancing a Healthier Wisconsin Endowment of the Medical College of Wisconsin.